Oh, good morning, everyone. Let's wait just a little bit. We'll wait about another 4 minutes and then we'll start. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Ricochet.
Good morning. Good morning, Lamala. Wait just a little bit. We'll wait about another 4 minutes and then we'll start. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Ricochet.
Good morning. Good morning, Lamala.
Good morning, Ricochet.
We're having some audio difficulties.
No, we're good.
Okay. Just a little bit. We'll wait about another 4 minutes and then we'll start. Good morning.
Good morning, Ricochet.
Good morning. Good morning, Lamala.
Good morning, Ricochet.
We're having some audio difficulties.
That's weird.
We're good.
Okay.
Hang on. We have two.
I'm going to go away, turn this off, and then come back.
Okay, I think that's fixed. Okay.
Remember this the other night?
Okay, I think that's fixed now, Ricochet.
Okay, good. I know that I am in the Twilight Zone. I guess it was just a reminder. So again, good morning. I hope it has been pleasant so far. Looks like we have a little snow, so that's good. And while it's on my mind, I was getting something to drink, and I just want to say goodbye, sweet Nina. Thank you for visiting us. And I know you have other duties and other realms, so we can be a little bit sad, and obviously we'll miss for a while, but also to know that this little sprite, this little spirit is on to other dimensions to bring happiness to others. And who are we to take that away from what she must do to be among others? But maybe it's a reminder that we should try to inhabit the same spirit. So, Mom, to Nina, embody what this being taught you. And do you realize, not through grasping what she blessed you with, now how to let go, really understanding how to let go, contemplating this last night. What does that mean? Not a thought, but a feeling that arises deep from within. It grips you and holds you like the talons of an eagle. How to release and fly and soar, the same as the eagle in our spirit. So I did prayers last night, and I still see those bright little eyes and fluffy little body just running around. So It is in one respect. Oh, and then there's Nodi. This is Nodi Lamala. Nodi Lamala is always giving Nina little treats. And mom is probably going, no, 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 stop that. She's so spoiled. Yeah, she was spoiled. Why not be spoiled? We are all so deprived these days. And I'm sure perhaps your child longs to be spoiled. So you had this opportunity, Brenda, to spoil a sentient being, a life force. This I keep makes my hair stand up. A living entity, a life force in the totality of the universe, where no other life forms, and I'm sure there must be others, have not been recognized or discovered. But here we are, and here you are, Brenna, had the opportunity, this conscious life force existing alongside yours. So be sad. Accept your sadness.
I barely turned it on.
Yeah, open your sadness. We fear being fearful. We fear death. We fear loss. We fear being blamed. Our whole existence, that's the all-pervasive suffering, this fear. So I was thinking again last night, ask you, what is your fear? What is it that you hold back from? Oh, I don't want to feel that. No, then thinking and sitting last night, no, I want to feel. Sometimes, and I must back up for a moment. I think I said good morning. I hope everyone have a pleasant day. Then I'm hearing all of my masters going, hey, you stop, buddy. Therefore, bring your hands together, please. And Imaho, we pay homage to all of the enlightened Buddhas of the past, present, future, Bodhisattvas, lineage masters, down to our present day teachers. May we receive their blessings at this very moment to awaken our own intrinsic enlightened Buddha nature and truly be a benefit to all beings who Nina, all Ninas we must be servants to. My wish. So to continue with that thought so I don't lose it, so too many thoughts. What is your fear today? Your fear, your sadness, your sorrow, your lacking, your disappointment, and so forth and so on. Endless, as it says in that little vow. They are inexhaustible. Our construct of fears, anger, etc. And our tendency, and maybe I'm just talking to myself, I'm not sure what your tendency is as I try to examine my own madness, is to pull away from it. But I was reading from another master, another Rinpoche. No, embrace it. Baja Rinpoche, Baja Rinpoche. Embrace it. Because the happiness and the sadness are of the same manifestation at their core level, aren't they? The emptiness of sadness and the emptiness of happiness. So then I was sitting here and I thought, then therefore, rest in emptiness, but not a voidness or a nothingness. And one mountain hermit, he says, it's all the same. Happiness and sorrow come from the same vein. Emptiness. Rest your mind and just do your work. Don't overthink. Don't think so much. So he's talking to the student like this. So again, take a breath in this morning and breathe out and just rest. Rest in our loss, rest in our fears, rest in our sorrow. And in one way, as I said to myself also, our adversaries are our best teachers, and our hardships, in essence, if we look at it, can be a blessing. So these pry open our closed flower of a heart. When we feel deeply lost, blame, and anger, etc., that's really intense, then maybe I was thinking, like the peacock, eat that, eat it, eat the intensity. And now let it open you to have greater what? Loving kindness and compassion. Loving kindness and compassion. Loving kindness and compassion. Why are we so afraid? Why so fragile? We can see the fragility of our existence. It's like a sci-fi movie, isn't it? A society bent on terminating itself, falling into despair and the destruction, and covering and being comforted with the veil of darkness and ignorance. And smiling, smiling and laughing as we destroy ourselves, falling down tube, going into the mouth of Yama.
So
One of my
in the top of your
dearest friends said,
like here.
some of us will die, unfortunately,
It's okay, right?
You're not sure.
and some of us will remain the same and never change. But some of us will evolve. Where are you? I'm hoping that you're asking yourself the question. Die, remain the same and never change, or evolve? I don't have to tell you which one, which train I wish to be on. The evolution of consciousness and the understanding of, through direct experience, of that which creates dualism, constructs, materialism, all arrive out of the primal force of the universe, the dynamic emptiness from which all things come into being and all things dwell and cease. Isn't it like that? If it's not, please tell me so I can revamp. Take a breath in this morning, please. Breathing out. Just rest your mind for a moment. Perhaps you have been going about already early, doing this and doing that. Now, do nothing. And you don't have to justify not being busy. And again, breathing out. So my contact in social media is limited. I try to keep it that way, but if you haven't noticed, the masters, a lot of our teachers, and various pictures of Guru Rinpoche, bikinis, wrathful deities, they are becoming very prominent through this media, social media around the planet. So the prophecy perhaps is being fulfilled even greater. Maybe it's politically incorrect, so I'll phrase it in the correct way. When the technology comes about that allows us to move in vastness of space, the Dharma, which is self-existing from beginning without end, will permeate all of space.
Back.
Yeah, I say it like this. because it has not just come to this particular place. It has permeated the whole planet. So we are an integral part of that. What part will you play, really?
If I have to go see them when you're at work, then I do. You know,
Maybe someone could turn off their conversation. I'm hearing.
After puja, I'm assuming that they're not gonna.
Lamala,
yeah.
who is that?
I'm not sure. Let me find out.
If they wish to talk, then I will keep quiet because I really don't have anything to say anyway.
It was you.
Okay. Isn't our life strange? Faith and the devotion and the trust and commitment and conviction. Are they arriving in you, or are they merely contriving in you? When we are contriving, it requires the cognizing, discriminating, categorizing, etc. Aspect. But when we're cognizant in that moment of awareness of the stillness, it naturally arises spontaneously, don't you think? Practice is the continued, at least for me, invoking faith and trust and devotion, commitment and conviction. Sitting last night, I thought, as it said, and I'll read some more teachings tomorrow perhaps, this is not an intellectual process, even though we have an intellectual understanding. A double think, and we're in the position where we have to double think and interface our reality or symbols of construct of the realities in which we evolved in this culture, as opposed to if you live in the Himalayan region, what that reality and the symbols of that particular culture or reality represent. So, talking to another colleague, metaforming, build a bridge between that conceptuality of a reality and this conceptual reality and see where they come together, maybe in new understandings. Maybe this is how the great masters created Dharma. They knew about metaforming, as I was talking to Dr. Seiler. So you have to give up the picking at the bones and fully embrace yourself in the experience as though this is our reality. Every one of the tankas I'm surrounded by in this room exist. The question is where? No place other than within. Tomorrow is in the Himalayan is already Guru Rinpoche Day. Guru Rinpoche is a celebration. So we'll do the Guru Rinpoche today, and thinking about Guru Rinpoche, where is Guru Rinpoche? Like a Zen koan, where is Guru Rinpoche? Where is Guru Rinpoche? You should ask. Who knows? I should have told you you were on the Dharma Express, going across the Tibetan plateau, moving from some maybe Guangzhou in China, and we go all the way to Lhasa. And you see many things, 14,000, 15,000, 18,000 feet on the frozen tundra. Come take the journey with me. And as you sit again, and you're looking out the window, and you see the scenery, and you ask yourself the question, will Guru Rinpoche ever come to me? Therefore, where is Guru Rinpoche? Where is Guru Rinpoche? So I have the fortune twice a week and more times a more Zen approach, Chinese Kung Fu approach, Tai Chi approach, Tibetan approach. I have so many ramps of approach, no wonder I'm so confused. But in this one, I think it's a valid question. Where is Guru Rinpoche? I want you to ask, contemplate only that thought, but don't derive an answer. Ask the question. And breathing out, waking up. In my mind, it says, wake up from dreaming, dreaming of grasping, of fixating, changing, and altering, clinging. The last time we saw Rinpoche, one of the instructions, he says, to practice let go of clinging. I haven't done that well. I will make a better attempt. So therefore, you already know, Guru Rinpoche is no other place than within you. Not you at a mundane level, but supra mundane. A universal collective consciousness, we could say, that permeates the totality of the cosmos. I describe universe is Guru Rinpoche. And you are part of the universe, not separate. Therefore, Guru Rinpoche is already within you. Recognize, Namakazi, this present moment of wakefulness, this void intrinsic emptiness is the essence of the Guru's mind. Not separate from your own mind, indivisible. The two into one. Take a breath in. Don't construct, Mirandoji, the wisdom mirror of discriminating awareness. Rest your mind in the recognition of your own Buddha nature without holding, grasping, changing, trying to figure, so forth and so on. Rest. And then as you breathe out, to awaken the six gates of consciousness, the I consciousness, to just see. In how many ways have you dissected reality? I see, I like. I see, I don't like. I see, I don't care. I see, I want, etc. As it is, Doko Urban Rinpoche's text, I was in retreat and I would see that statement every morning, every day, as it is. So just to see consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and then consciousness of mind, the consciousness that knows its awareness without grasping, discriminating, categorizing, etc. Space. Not a sci-fi movie, we know the line. But space. Do you have space in your existence today? Expand. When I'm looking at this soundscape, I wait for the notice to appear. Music station. And every time, if I'm watching and the lotus appears, I stop what I'm doing. And I remember and I focus and contemplate. The lotus opened in my heart, radiating loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all sentient beings, that it is spacious and luminous. Please connect to your flower, like from the No tradition of the theater of Japan. Hana, open your flower. Look into your heart. Is the mind already creating other thoughts counter to what I may be saying? If so, it is okay. Maybe your flower is not ready to bloom. Open your flower. It's almost if we were in close contact and I could look into your face. I would love to see the fragrance and the colors and the shapes in your eyes, and the flower would be reflected in your smile. Rest. My teachers are very clever. They send me moments that awaken. Dojum Lingpa. So my master, he sent me a picture of Dojum Lingpa. Oh, the revealer of new tournaments, speak in crazy ways and images that just appear. They come into his mind and flow out of his mouth. You are directly connected to Jogyu Lingpa, Dorju Lingpa, Jetma Lingpa, many masters of the past you should read. Check once again. Loving kindness and compassion from the open flower of your heart. It is so brilliant, it reflects in your eyes and upon your face. When we were in Nepal, most of who I see, Rinpoche gave us the practice of Guru Rinpoche. Very short practice. There's some things you have to fill in, which you already have. But the reason it always struck me, again, the cleverness and the intelligence of our teachers, because this particular practice comes from the lineage that's known as the White Lotus. So the White Lotus, radiant quality within your heart. Not a thought, but it is the feeling that must arise if you allow it to do so. And again, breathing out. So to try to finish all of this convoluted thoughts, I asked some times ago, and as I continue to ask of myself, are we ready to change? Or are you recognizing subtle changes? Now we have been gathering like this for I don't even know how many months. May it continue many more months. Don't care. But have we changed? Have you changed? Are you more kind to yourself and others? Are you more compassionate to yourself and others? Have we refrained from taking everything so seriously and feeling that we are the ones being put upon? Are we reaching out to help others and perhaps being more tolerant and more accepting of various differences that we can see around us? Are we using the time for self-discipline, self-creativity, self-exploration, and self-awareness? Have we changed? If not, then it doesn't make any sense to continue to do this. And it appears it is not words that change. Again, I will have to apologize. Who else do I have to talk to other than the walls, and then they don't speak back? And if they do, I'll let you know. But words don't seem to change. And empirical data born out of sound research doesn't seem to make sense, does it? We know all the pretty words and profound statements, etc. But still, as they say, in one ear and out the other, because it is our actions that show whether we have changed or not. So, in the light of our challenging times, and more people are using that word, challenging times, we know all of what's going on. But loving kindness and compassion for those who are now inundated in trying to care for those who do not wish to change. This is real compassion. Someone comes and goes, make me feel better, but I'm not changing my behavior that allowed me to be here to begin with. This sort of absurdity. And I expect for you to give me the best care so I can recuperate and go back to do what doesn't disturb my reality. But for you who are jeopardizing your own health, your family, your life, I didn't give too much thought to it because it is only about me right now. I wonder what situation I asked Gabrielle and another colleague, what is the symptoms? Yeah, we know how it attacks the body in many, many ways that we're still discovering. But the attack is not the coronavirus, as I again try to think about it. The attack, because another coronavirus will come. It is samsara. And something else will come to shake us to the core, which we are now being done, but maybe not enough because we don't want to change. I don't understand, but then I do. We only change and move when it's in our best self-interest. And maybe perhaps the self-interest that brings about change is not high enough. We need a stronger lever. The coronavirus is a lever, and it's lifting us up, kicking and screaming. We're being lifted up. People are being more compassionate and more caring and reaching out and how can be of benefit to others. And I'm sure you're doing this to many of your colleagues and to your friends, which I hope you are. But in a larger context, change seems to be very difficult. I had the thought, what if for 1 minute I want to do with you? We'll get to the mumbling and the ding ding and let's hear, but unless you really allowing it to restructure, a restructuring of our own quantum existence in the universe. And not until the energy patterns change within, there can be no change without. We all know this. But what is it that must change? I think it is the quantum structure of our energetic patterns must alter. It's like listening to, I always think it's so funny. Waco, Texas, the event, the tragedy happened there. I forget the leader of that particular sect. But to try to disturb them, they would play Tibetan temple music all through the night, which is funny. And I don't know how they responded to it or not knowing that those sounds and that music is to do exactly that. It is a restructuring of our energetic patterns. I think I'll use it at a quantum level, a very deep level. Going back to if you become angry, uh, evaluate or observation. What makes you angry? If the seed of the causality of that which makes you angry stays planted, then you will always arouse that anger because the energetic charge is there for it to manifest. Doing long Vajrasattva. to begin to alter and maybe align our own energetic patterns with that of the intrinsic emptiness or purity of all phenomena, so that that purity lies within our mind, within our consciousness, within our being, within our very existence. And if that is the case, then truly you are bodhisattva, enlightened being. Enlightened beings restructure their quantum existence to be in harmony with an ever expanding cosmos and to truly be a benefit to all sentient beings. Then I'll bring back to be a benefit to all Ninas. All Ninas. I have a cousin, her name is Nina. That's why I always loved Nina. It made me think of her. So again, as I ramble about right now, it merely is to question, because we can see there is change, but there also at the other end is destruction. But I guess that's samsara. That's why it's called samsara. We must, as the Zen master says, go a little bit deeper. Don't give up now. Concentrate. Where is Guru Rinpoche? Where is Guru Rinpoche? I ask again and again and again. And then something occurs. Then I hear Lama Kazi. I didn't ask you to decipher it and to pick at the bones like a buzzard. I asked you to do the practice. Do the practice again and again and again. And those vibrations of purity, I believe, I know, begin to affect our existing phenomena, which is not separate from it. And those two oscillating vibratory patterns, they fall into sync, thus balance. Find the balance by constantly engaging in the practice. That does not come about by just thinking. Again, two wings. The wing of the intellectual, conceptual understanding, and the wing of direct experience. So maybe to stop my just going about here, hopefully, one other thought, my Buddha master, how to shake up your brain. I've been with many teachers, they want you to be uncomfortable. Because again, as I said, not until you're uncomfortable, you change. You sit on your seat, oh, very nice. Maybe you have to get up and you come back and someone put a little rock. Master Z, when he was a little boy, he's a joker. I bet you he did like this. You put a little rock on the seat and they sit down and you sort of see them moving and twisting about. And then finally they get up and they pull it and they look at it like, who put that there? But you're just like, don't do this. So not until an irritant comes do we change. So maybe to conclude, are you really ready to change and engage in a process that not alters, but awakens consciousness to its totality of purity, not separate from the cosmos of the universe in which it exists, existing as a conscious life force within the totality of the cosmos, space. So I hope you have found some space and you allow space, and not only space, luminosity, space and light. Focus your mind and your heart. When we say mind, I don't mean your conceptual brain. Your heart mind, space. Allow space for loss, Bruna. Allow space for love. Allow space for disappointment. Allow space for anger. All of these fabrications are like clouds. And when you allow space, they tend to dissipate and dissolve away. It doesn't lessen your direct experience, and even the experience, let go. So in my mind, when Toko Urban Mache would say to us three parts into one, the perceiver, the perceiving, and that which is perceived, intrinsically are all empty. So therefore, rest in the recognition of emptiness, not a thought. Just let go. Breathe in, breathe out. Space between the thumbs. The eyes just resting, absorbing the light. Gently breathing in and out through the mouth. So Rinpoche said, remain in stillness like a mountain. And like a speech impaired person, we don't speak or mumble or chant anything. And our mind is like a burnt out ash fire, like a campfire. All the fire gone. Rest. And as you're sitting, do not impede the arising of thought. Do not examine the thought that has arrived, and the arriving thought that ceases, do not follow. They're merely clouds in the vastness of the space into which they dissipate. And once again, breathing out. So we engage in the practice of Guru Rinpoche, as we have been doing, that we do so for the benefit of all sentient beings. We would like to think that doing these practices, they will affect some outer change within sentient beings, including ourselves in some way. But reading and paraphrasing a short phrase from Rumi. Yesterday, in my youth, I wanted to make my mark upon the world, and I set out to change it in this world. But today, I am an older man, and I've come to the conclusion the only change must come from within. So therefore, I will focus on that, and the refrain goes, let's begin. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. Most precious Guru, please think of me. Bestow the blessings that will free and ripen my mind so that I may realize as quickly as possible for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's not a question of true or not, existing or not. We have made a choice. I choose what I will use to construct the reality in which I exist. None of it is real at an ultimate level. Relatively speaking, if someone hits you with a 2x4, you're going to feel it, unless you are highly, highly developed and it just passes through you like some multi-dimensional being. So did you take refuge? Or did you just mouth the words? I'm talking to me. Refuge. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Illusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transcend them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's enlightened way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. So I'll keep asking the question of myself. This is what you said you would do. So do what you said you would do. Again, if we're just mouthing words, it will have no effect whatsoever. You must mean 1, 2, 3, everything you said. I mean, this is what I will do. I love when I say to myself, delusions are inexhaustible, and I smile, but then I will transcend them for the benefit of all. But obviously, refuge and the Bodhisattva vow, the vow of the enlightened being, we still have our own self-created obstacles. May they be cleansed and purified. Sara da 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 badru mane muzovende bawa mahasama yazatu wadum bruzatu samaya mano valaya badru zabreteno ba de mebawa sudo kaya mebawa zubo kaya mebawa anarado mebawa zawla zede mebeya zara gamazu de zedem guru hom ha bhagavan Sara da 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 badru mane muzovende bawa mahasama yazatu wadum badru zatu samaya mano valaya badru zabreteno ba de mebawa zudo kaya Subogaya Mabova, Narada Mabova, Zavasidi, Zara Kamazu to Mezitum Sidam Guru, Bhagavan, Sara da Gata, Ruman and Muzovan Zebava, Mahazama Yazatu, Maruzatu Samaya, Baduzadu Denova, the Mabova, Zudogaya Mabova, Zubogaya Mabova, Narada Mabova, Zavasidi, Zara Kamazu. Situm Situm Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagavan Savada Gata Badru, my name is Avanda Bava Mahasama Yatato Vadum Badruza Samaya Mano Vadaya Badruza the Mabova Zudokaya Mabova Zubokaya Mabova Hanarada Mabova Savazid and the Prayas of Ramazutame Situm Situm Guru Hum Ha 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 Savada Gata Badru, my name is Avanda Bava Mahasama Yatato Badruza Samaya Mano And then just resting once again, resting in the recognition of the purity of body, purity of speech, and purity of mind. Doji Senpa is the essence of the enlightened purity of all Buddhists, past, present, and future. But the same quality that is identified with Doji Senpa is the same aspect within yourself. If the intrinsic emptiness of the deity and the intrinsic emptiness of self, or there are two types of emptiness, or one. If we work from the premise that there is only one intrinsic emptiness, and therefore indivisible quality of the deity that has been visualized, and oneself. And we can go through a lot of didactic conceptuality to substantiate our way of thinking. But what if we dispense with this and just rest in the recognition of purity? And breathing out again. The deeds of the great bodhisattvas are numerous. So maybe at some point we can read about Vajrapani, Manjushri, Avalokitesvara, etc. May we join you. We dedicate ourselves to the endeavors in which you engage. Zember yarbar gerwa tamba bar gunda gumba taje daba je lubu daba daba badani zenje namge argo da pepe zenje zimba nunda dundu de zunzun dembe taje babe de wa jeba gerla zazago zamba zundur bauden doje Zen red zen one gunbo zambe za yi nimbo jimba nambaza namga nimbo bajo londo zongo ba doji paga donjo zendang nubo dawa rije nama ye jaze lanam daje baje jo zenjo zimba yela zazalo ngen doji 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 donjo bonjo gango numa la denda danda bonjo babiru minjo zonze nondo dodo de rejen doji gege donje zen dojo gewa zonze gege ma jozo zonwo de be babe daje amo de la zazalo zamba zembo donjo zemebo Mendo dunda gumbo dundo zo bada dunda dunwa nezezan Nando zede la je kudo don dojo nando don doje chen donyo nendo donje je chen Zajo neje gile taje jinde dunwa gila zazano Zajo jenje jawa jumbo la gile dunwa junwa junjo ye dondo bela Zedo ye zedo daje dele bunjo chomba Then I like to make it a active process. What I requested has been granted. So as you have been saying these various prayers and doing these rituals for some many years, you are what you have said you would be, and you're doing what you said you would do. This is our sole intent. What is my intention? I ask. What is my intention? I'm holding a crystal. What is my intention? So I want to fulfill my intention. Chonam shele gele chonje chonje tebe sungula kumbo kanye pa chenjo chenbo tige song. Tuwa dabda samba yi sange to da gidon la chenjo nebo tige pa taba tane kapsuji. Sherab nanze tamje pe sombe chenje chondo da sange chondo nege te sombe chenjo sange to. Jeze namga namba dan dowa jeze nego ba jeze choje nego ne dowa dergase wazu jonam shele gele jon jezo jeze jebe so gala gumbo kanye ba jezo jembo jege so nuwa tabda samba ye sange doda yudon ta jenzo nebo jege ba daba dade gebzo ji zura nje nje Sombe chenje chondo da zage chondo nege te sombe chenje semge to jeze naga nabada dowa jeze nego ba jeze toje nego ne dowa tanga zawa so chonam jele gele chonde chonde jebe so Goda gumbo ganye ba chenje jembo dige so dowa tanga zawa yi Sange do dange don la chenjo nebo jige ba taba tane gebzoji. Shirab Danje Danje Be Zombe Chenje Dundo Da Zange Dundo Nege Zombe Chenje Zange Do Teze Namga Namba Dova Teze Nego Ba Teze Doje Nego Dova Dira Dova. All phenomena arise from their causes. Their causes are explained by the Buddha. Cessation of these causes too are taught thus by the great sage. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the misery, suffering, and the causality of ignorance and desire and anger in this world through loving kindness and compassion. I hope you do employ these remedies from yourself to dispel the misery and the suffering and the causality of the three mind poisons within myself. That's the only thing that I can begin to work with. Because if I haven't done it in myself, for sure I will never be able to do it with anyone else. So focus on yourself. The world has been falling apart since its inception and will continue to do so. But it also has been reconstructing itself, ever changing. What did Janti Deva just tell you? It is ever changing and nothing remains the same. It arises from its causality and its resultance becomes the causality of its continuation. But the thing that is constant is this consciousness, this awakened quality at the core primordial level, emptiness. Rest in the recognition of the intrinsic emptiness of your own Buddha nature that is luminous and dynamic. Then let loving kindness and compassion spontaneously comes up, changes you because it is your essence, your nature. And then perhaps it will affect others because my crystal, that's our intention. Zakegabo Joda Tata Lo Tayata Omene Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Tayata Mone Mahamana Yesua Omene Mone Mahamana Yesua Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo mane 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 yozo mane mane mahamana 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 yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane 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 Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Zomane mane mahamana yozo mane mane mahamana yozo mane mane Sumane Mane Mahamana Yeso. Then receiving the blessings we visualize from the Buddha in the form of white, red, blue, and yellow, occurring for ourselves, but occurring for all sentient beings. And then in the presence of the Buddha, we practice maybe just consistent radiant light of loving kindness and compassion. So we're not necessarily drawing in anything, but only radiating out endlessly. May again your flower of loving kindness and compassion be ever fragrant and brilliant where others can see, like the Buddha holding up the flower. You don't have to say anything, just be. Be a radiant flower of loving kindness and compassion. Focus on that. Don't count the breath. Just again and again, loving kindness and compassion for all sentient beings. And again, breathing out. And this quality doesn't stop, it is ever present. Imagine no matter where you go, what you do, who sees you, whom you see, whom you speak of, and who speaks of you. May they all be blessed by the radiant flower of your loving kindness and compassion. Lama Yeshergeda Jetorwa Duna Doseto Washo. Duba Janya Meja da Jawa Bonzon Zomba Jarente Tande Yondo Dene Zenge Tamba Yen Giwaji Dudu Zaki Gabo Dujune Dova Nyanyova Dene Shela Yuba Sho. Invocation to Guru Rinpoche, the essence of all of the enlightened qualities is so many things that we can relate about Guru Rinpoche. We don't have time. So you must study who is Guru Rinpoche, where is Guru Rinpoche, why is Guru Rinpoche, what did he accomplish, where did he, we can go on and on and on. But for simple, Guru Rinpoche and yourself, one and the same, like two rings connected. Om Urgen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dombola Yazin Joji Guru Ne Bema June Sudra Gudur Gando Mabu Gur Gege Zazu Darugi Chendela Zezu Guru Bema Sidi Om Urgen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dombola Yazin Joji Guru Ne Bema June Sudra Gudur Gando Mabu Gegi Zazu Darugi Chendela Zezu Guru Bema Sidi Om Urgen Yuji Nanzan Bema Geza Dombola Yazin Joji Guru Ne Bema June Sudra Gudur Gando Mabu Gegi Zazu Darugi Chendela Zezu Guru Bema Sidi. Mao Drodo Jogi Sangam Joni Jojo Maybe Jojo Jojo Jewa Jumbo Naga Tendo Toji Dure Lama Jugi Kula Zuwad Gorgen Bedmanja Nella Zawata, the Janogi to Bezingam, so Conjon Yondan, Yandan, Lady, Ye Gunan to Water Bego, Doji, Jedra, Nezo, Zunzun, the Malo, Zuzukla, Zawada, Gorgen Bedmanja Nella Zawata, Midget, and then the Bezingam, so Doji, Timbo, the way to Laja. The largan de berge dundu te da mata da da dunzum ki na ma de be go da suwade gorgen be ma jende la suwade gunzon dozon gera jira je be ma gera na jojo da jojo na do do da zo zo da la ma na la suwade Zenbe zenbe tunde tunde don doje don do tunde tunya na na do tunde tunde gode gode tunde don jemba dreme ozo shala so wade sejen gunde dola teze dreme guryan do zo zo za no je namye no do jeme nende shala so wade Tuzo Gungam Pema Tineki, Tutu Kuzo Gulu, Senge, Mende, Pension, Kunzun Zembella, Zuba, the Woman Togi, Potanga, Tuzo Zange, Gulu, Renzem Gugu Gudo, Tunze, Soe, Amana Masu, the Roman Jogi, Yogi, Botan, Tutu, Sange, Goji, Gugu, Renzem Gugu Guzu, Tunzeba. So when I may say, so what you are going to Yandan, Lamatan, to be to give a lot of children. Saddam, the Jerun doing this when he do Jinji go Fando, do so, Oma, 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 Sarubari. Breathing in and release to clear the nadis. Zoom yi li le anga tanga da na na ma ya wa shaka sorge 오메단마 헤도발라와 헤도다가다하여 와도다간사 유노로하 예 바메님마 사마나 조하 제 바드라 사마야 자자 오마모 옴리사 라마니 바와다예 소하 Unze Bharadwa Samaya za Hom Bam Hom Badra Amrita Kundele Hana Hana Hom Pe Ranje Nine Honde Hoso Tube Lamada Nezo Begunje Jogi Gabo Donjon Duze Gario Mezawa Bebe Gunundo Genamga Baza Samaza Sange Dodan Zoge Jonama Junjo Badu Nigam Suji Daji Zenzo Gebezo Nami Jola Benze Zenge Jobajo Sange Dodan Zoge Jonama Junjo Badu Nigam Suji Daji Zenzo Gebezo Nami Jola Benze Zenge Jobajo Sange Dodan Zoge Jonama Junjo Badu Nigam Suji Daji Zenzo Gebezo Nami Jola Benje Zenge Jobajo Za Amu Zoje Narana Tembagu Umbaja Mahasri Harago Dene Doji Torva Guru Zeram Yam Sarva Suto Sarva Tanama Surve Suto Tumbe Nende Nende Rumbo Jane Engagement Nando Toro Doro Dumbo Bunson Sobo Dajangazo Jembo Oma Lume Bade Sababida Rarba Satsamaza Sadana Pade Deje Bada Mata. Namo Zabada Yadaba Yumishumugube Sabada Nogete Sabarana in the Kamasoha. You said Namo Zabada Yadaba Yumishumugube Sabada Sabarana in the Kamasoha. Namo Zabada Yadaba Yumishumugube Sabada Mogate Sabarana in the Kamasoha. Da 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 de la do 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 dan do da 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 de do 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 da do de 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 ge de da do do da 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 de la do 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 dan do da dan da da de do 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 da do de 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 ge de da do da 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 de la do 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 dan do da dan da da de do 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 da do de 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 ge de da do do. Come pate yarieta. Zomba the Mahasri Hadarka. Dane doji torwa guru ram yam. Zarva zuto zarva dharma subbe zuto ro tumbe dende dende rinpo tseni yejenge jewe nondo doro kando doro nomo kunzo zomba da janga zo sembo ku ma Sara Putraga Sara Sara Putraga Sara Sara Putraga Sara Om Saba Bingine Namo Saba Data Gata Bayo Mishu Mugu Saba Data Mokete Saba Rana Inam Kurihana Kurihana Inam Baninda Yeso Om Saba Bingine Namo Saba Data Gata Bayo Mishu Mugu Saba Data Mokete Saba Rana Inam Kurihana Inam Baninda Yeso Om Saba Bingine Namo Saba Data Gata Bayo Mishu Mugu Saba Data Mokete Saba Rana Inam Kurihana Handa idam balinda taye soha. Sinchen chamje jowa da dowa gonda doba guji durganda durge gonda doba guji donge mebe dumba da mebe wa guji nure tenda da de one and the zebe mela namba guji Sinchen chamje jowa da dowa gonda doba guji durganda durge gonda doba guji donge mebe dumba da mebe wa guji Senjen Jamje Jawada, the Wagonda Duva Guje, Dunganda, Durege, Gonda Duva Guje, Donge Mebe Dembada, Mede Waguje, Dunda, the one and there's a Bemela, Nemba Guje. Uma Zazo Manja Zonje Jawada, Zeri Gunze Zowaye, Gawa Zeze Daje Chitzekwa, Zonje Zoba Zonje Sashi Boji Jojo Mizo Tram Rival Se Nide Zambagi Zange Zinde Mida Bova Ye Dunam Nida Zinda Jubajo Idan Rana Mandrada Gam Nida Dayame Sashi Boji Jojo Mizo Tram Rival Se Nide Zambagi Zange Zinde Mida Bova Ye Dunam Nida Zinda Jubajo Idan Rana Mandrada Gam Nida Dayame Sashi Boji Jojo Mizo Tram Rival Se Nide Zambagi is in the middle way, you don't have the nose in that chubachu, and another mandraka. The taya, Badruza to Samaya, Manobalaya, Badruza to Denova, to the Novoa, to the Gaya, the Boa, to the Gaya, the Boa. Amara to the Boa, so the city, Megaya, the Zara, number Zara, the Gata, Badra, and the Boa, Manobalaya, Badruza, and Nova, to the Novoa, to the Gaya, the Boa, to the Gaya, the Boa, Amara to the Boa. The city, Megaya, the Zara, number Sada Gata Gata Badra Mane Muzo Lende Bala Ma Sama Ya Murgen Yuji Nansan San Bema Geza Tumbula Jazen Joji Gojune Bema June Zazudra Gudur Gando Mambu Gurgege Zazu Darugi Jinje Laji Zazu Guru Bema Siti Om Urgen Juji Nazan Bema Geza Tumbula Nazan Juji Gojune Bema June Zazudra Gudur Gando Mambu Gurgege Zazu Darugi Jinje Laji Zazu Guru Bema Siti Om Urgen Juji Nazan Bema Geza Tumbula Dazen Joji Gojune Bema June Zazudra Gudur Gando Mambu Gege Zazu Darugi Jenje Laje Zazu Guru Bema Sumahum Badza Guru Bema Jozenza Badra Samaya Za Randy Nojo Dunba Dungaru, Zawela me Bejo Nojo, Randy Nojo Dunba Dungaru, Zawela me Bejo Nojo, Randy Nojo Dunba Dungaru, Zawela me Bejo Nojo. Don't worry, you may not have this prayer. Urgen Rimbo Jela Suwade Gajen Baje Minjojen. Don't get somebody to bed on Droda Muna Droso. Sri Matu Droda Lama Jogi to Dejen Oje Lama Jogi. Bavden Andro Lama to be good. Kunzon Doje Temba. So what? Nati Guru Brati Saho. Om Badra Ardham Badam Tupe Aloge Grande Niwadi Shabda Luta Shabda Grande Vasha Jebashe Maharadama Data Buddha Kaye. So one should either employ the visualization of oneself as the deity or as Vajrayogini, the deity. So I will talk more about that at some other point. But the main thing is you visualize the essence of the Guru, Guru Rinpoche, as you recite this condensed, sort of powerful atomic verse to bring about change within oneself and with others to arrive at the awakened state completely. Soma Om Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Hum Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Hum Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Hum Soma Hum Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Hum Siddhi Hum Soma Hum Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Bhadra Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Siddhi Hum Ahum Baja Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Ahum Baja Guru Bama Siddhi Hum Ahum Baja Guru Bama Siddhi Hum And bring your hands together, please. Just holding. Doje tsemba nenye na nandro dawa dudaba Unzo ndorye gebo ne nye tangwa jo Doje tsenge tsenje nandala tsandra nomo nuru Tada nendo do paso Om Bhadra Maha Guru Padma Trojansa Bhadra Samaya Sakaya Vaka Sita Sava Siti Om Bhadra Guru Padma Trojansa Bhadra Samaya Zaza Kaya Bata Sita Alala Sita Ala. So you should think Guru Rinpoche is directly in front of you, and the Toma is the essence of the Guru. So you're receiving the blessings of the body, the speech, and mind, and the cities are being granted to pacify, subjugate, subdue, magnetize, and multiply. Uma hum bhaja guru pema trutenza bhadra samaya za kaya varga sita ala ala. Badruzatu Samaya Manobadaya, Badruzatu Denova, Dedu Nobua, Sudogaya Mabua, Sudogaya Mabua, Amaradu Mabua, Zolazidi Mabaya, Duzara Didn't go. Ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Bhavada Badrumane Muzaman, Samaya. Satua Badruzatu Samaya Manobadaya, Badruzatu Denova, Dedu Nobua, Sudogaya Mabua, Sudogaya Mabua. Anaradu Mabua, Zolazidi Mabaya, Duzara Gamazutame, Sidum Guru Hum. Ha ha ha, Bhagavan, Zovada Gata Badrumane Muzaman, Bhavama. Samaya Satu Dhamapala. So Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be, Namo Guru Be. Om Sridi Benza Heraka Rule Rule Om Jo Be. Dene Bajan Sunye Ramyam Gam Tube Toje Yetron Tori To. Damse Ye Ye Me Tutsi Tren Meze Nange Tori Kulu. This Ram Soma Hom Soma Hom Om Sri Gopa Oze Doye Ye De Meje Me Sawa Satoma Doje Doje Doge Doje Danda Donde Donge Konje So Om Mahatala Dambo Gabo So Ige Sade Moga Moga Na Hate Mama Dede Dama Mago Koda Damje Damje Ge Deshe Toda Toma Deje Na Baje Danje Deje Toma Dam Jende Deje Toma 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 Genje Beba Toma Tome Gan Dobe Dode Toma Toma Yi Tenze Nyeje Nobe Gemde Ge Dode 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 Toma Toma Genje Doje 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 Doge Baba Dode Dodo Doge Doje Gazo Dojo Dodo Gege Gazo Doje Jo Jeje Deme Jeje Deme Go Doje Deme Dada Doba Zi Gena Zobe Banyo Nandende Sazun 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 Zodo Ge Geba Gazo Gege Zade Da Bado Nonde Gonde Domba Zo Donge Doji Lekba Doji Je Sando Jembo Dombo Doji Ko Dodo Lobe Beze Geba Da Dore Gaje Doji Domba Je Jina Zawe Daje Daje Na Doba Donde Ganda Gazo Doje Goje Doje Sazo Lo Jeje Domba Sama Rande Da Rande Dende Gonde Domba Do Dobo Yoge Doge Domba Zo Re Dobe Ma Dede Deba Zo Nuzu Zu Mje Bonge Doma Deje La Dodam Gabyo Nande Domba Do Genje Benda Domba Zoge Ga Dode Dode Domba Domba Ye Dode Dode Domba Gende Ge Dode Nonde Domba Domba Zo Dode Bonge Domba Domba Zaje Doba Domba Zeje La Maye Bonzo Zonje Saje Be Nonyo Nonyo Nande Tajo Zo Om Gage Domba Yege Dade Na Rade Nomba Rade Nomba La Domya Modo Lebo Lebo De Tajo Zimbo Sajo Rabo La Dojo Zimbo Zimba Dade Tam Jodo Nambo Namdo Noge Namge Gojo Benza Tende Za Gamya Namde Zoge Konamge Dojo Dojo Dodo Deshe La Shete Rajo 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 Re Nambo Bendo Bendo Benda De Nawa Jeje Nawa Tabu Zo Deje Gajo Junamge Doje Doma Deje La Naje Doje Doje La Najo Bonde Domba Dam Bando Donde Dema Zo Dojo Doje Gondo Dan Donde Geba Tama Yi Namge Dode Deba Zo Donde Dende Deba Zo Doje Seba Milgun Tola Jemedu, Dadan Wonder Tova Bajeza, Mane Nedunje Tova Gadadun Gerbo Sudaluva Me, Soba Debzurga Jembaji, so Jejen Jekin to Mama Venezuela, Guru Bama Doya Bunyo Jana, Anji City, Oh, Mama Venezuela, Duri Guru Bama Doya Dunadana, Under City, Oh, Mama Venezuela, Dai Guru Bama Dunadana, Under City, Zumba Zamaya, Manobalaya, Manuza Sudogayo Nagowa, Sudogayo Nagowa, Sedum Sedum Guru Home, Dawa Dava Gada Badra, Mani Muzo Vente Bhavana, Damaya Gatu, Dusum Gay Guru Rambaje, Guru Gunda Devo Jamboja, Baji Gunsa, Dudu Vaza, Vadu, Jinjela Duzo. Chinazo Bada Jovata, Sambadu Gejuba Jelo, Dusum Gay Guru Rambaje, Guru Gunda Devo Jamboja, Baji Gunsa, so what is a Jinjela Duzo, Chinazo Bada Jovana, Sambadu Gejuba Jelo. So again, just rest for a little bit, take easy, drink some water. I will read a story to you. Meditation on loving kindness. Thus, which I hope you have, meditated on limitless impartiality. You should treat all sentient beings of the three realms as equal in the domain of loving kindness. You should think of them all just as parents think of their children. Even when a child reacts in an ungrateful way, the parents, ignoring their own hardships, make an effort through actions of their body, speech, and mind to make the child comfortable, happy, and free from problems, especially in this time period. Similarly, you should make your best physical, vocal, and mental efforts in using various means to provide pleasure and happiness to all sentient beings in their present and future lives. All the sentient beings of the three realms, too, are searching in the hope of finding their own personal comfort and happiness. None of them wants discomfort and suffering. However, they do not know how to earn merit, the cause of comfort, and they indulge in the 10 demeritorious acts. Thus, their actions go against their intentions. And even though they expect happiness, they obtain nothing but suffering. Meditate again and again, thinking how happy you would be if all these sentient beings could obtain nothing but the comfort and happiness for which they individually yearn. Meditate until toward the end, you feel that all the sentient beings also want nothing but happiness, just as you do. And there is no difference between you and them. The sutras make similar mentions of bodily actions of loving kindness, vocal actions of loving kindness, and mental actions of loving kindness. Accordingly, whether you are speaking or working with your hands, do not harm other sentient beings and always behave in an honest and compassionate manner. According to the Bodhicharya Tara, even when you look at sentient beings, do so in a loving, kind, righteous, and compassionate way. As said, even when you look at other sentient beings, you should do this with a smile in a manner appealing to them. You should not give them hostile or frowning looks. So I was talking to someone. Why would you look at someone and ridicule them because they choose to wear a mask during these challenging times? Why would you do that when perhaps the mask that you do not wear or the social distancing that you do not keep, etc., may not jeopardize you? But what about your child? What about your grandparents? What about your colleagues? What about your friends? Self-cherishing, self-centered, undisciplined. Yeah, my hair stands up. But probably I am talking to me, so please take no offense. But if you can adjust your behaviors, as it just said, physical, vocal, and mental mind, to have a compassionate, may all sentient beings have happiness. And may they always have the cause of that happiness. May not one sentient being suffer, and may they be separated from that which causes suffering. Why can't we have this type of approach? Why can't this be the norm of a society? Imagine everyone you saw in the store had the idea, oh, may you be happy today. May you not suffer today. I wish the best for you today. It is occurring. You can be the catalyst that brings the springboard of that behavior forward. Then, oh, better check the time. Okay. Then it says, once there was said to be a powerful officer who also frowned at others. Later, he was reborn as a preta, eating the remnants of food left in the trenches of a certain family. There are instances of the Buddhas having said that a frowning look given to a spiritually obtained person can cause one to be reborn in hell. All physical activities should be gentle and attractive and aim not at harming others, but rather at helping others. Wouldn't it be a gift if we would just, all physical activities of the day would be gentle and attractive, and we would aim at not harming others or ourselves, but rather, how can I help you today? How might I ease your discomfort today? How might I bring happiness to you today? Why can't we live in a culture, in a society, in a world? I know it's utopian fantasy, but is it not my right to create the reality in which I wish to think? Like Guru Rinpoche said, his actions are as fine as flour, even though his view is very high. Yes, all may be emptiness at its ultimate nature, but at its most base, why can't we adopt an attitude of loving kindness and compassion? Today, when you go about, you must be like the flower. And everyone you see, smile at them and think, oh, I want them to be happy. I want them to have strawberry ice cream or whatever their treat happens to be. And you just are smiling like Master Z. And you just give that out, like Brahmacharya, right? Everyone you see, oh, namaste, namaste, how are you doing today? You meet people, you're in Nepal, you're in India, they always say like that.
Maybe it still.
Yeah. But here, gruntle face, frowning face, special gestures. Let's change. So even if a single word is uttered, let it not be derogatory, irritating, and sarcastic or the like. And there are people that pride themselves on being derogatory, on being irritating, on being sarcastic. They wear it like a badge or something. Speak truthfully and gently. Mentally, also, you should wish to help others. It must come from that thought. However, you should not anticipate receiving anything in return for this. You should behave and speak gently and unhypocritically. We live in such hypocrisy these days. Without pretentiousness, making an effort to make others see you as a bodhisattva. You should, from the core of your heart, intend to do nothing but benefit others and see to their comfort. Pray again and again. From birth to birth and life after life, let me not harm in the slightest, even in a single pore of any other beings. Let me always be helpful. So this goes on, but again, to reinforce, are we doing what we said our intentions, or are we just mouthing the words like going to a tea party? Lama Kaisi would say, this is not a tea party. As you can see, it's almost, again, the seeds of our own destruction as a species, as a human race, is deteriorating. And not just from the coronavirus, but from ignorance and desire and anger and arrogance and prejudice. And so we know all the words. So where must the change begin? If not with you, please, I'll say again, you're not doing this to please me or to please our teachers. They will tell you the same. You must do it to bring happiness to yourself. And in the end, you can be a catalyst to bring happiness to others. If you are unhappy and despondent and angry, then that is the seed you will give out to others. And as we can see, that seed has spread with such rampantness. Change it. One person can make a change, starting with yourself. It sounds corny. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you wish to see in the world, starting with yourself. And it may be, sometimes there's that old phrase, maybe it is best just to be silent, but to do. It doesn't mean that you're condoning the actions by being silent. You find other ways to involve, to make change by being constructive in doing and not making excuses why you can't change. Again, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me. The last phrase before we stop today, as long as we are attached to this samsaric existence, we'll never change. Because the drug, the sugar of samsara is too sweet. You don't want to give up samsara. It doesn't mean that you have to walk away from your loved ones or your boats or your cars or your job or this or that. It's the attachment to the causality of that which brings about suffering from the inside, our constructs of thoughts that are negative, that are angry, that are misplaced desiring, that have a certain pride about them. Oh, ego-centeredness. I am the most important. I can do whatever I want, whenever I please. And Yama says, is that so? Please continue. You want to come to the tea party? I'm already setting the table for you. Okay, don't start making jokes. I think you understand. Please, change. Or else go do something else. I'm telling myself this. I'm just babbling to myself. If it resonates to you, wonderful. If not, still wonderful. Like Soga Rinpoche says in the movie. So take a breath in, please. Breathe out. Bring your hands up. Wake up from dreaming. Ah, ah. Rest. Talopa. Let go of the past. Don't grasp after what has not come. And even this present moment, we do not examine. Don't try to make anything happen or figure anything out. Relax. Let go. Rest. And draw the breath in, releasing out. Then I want to leave you with, you have many things you need to do, your prostrations, your recitations, your various practices. But periodically ask yourself, what are my intentions? What are your intentions? As the Zen master in Bhutan asked us. And then, what is important to you? And I speak in very general terms with no disrespect. Is it important to go running about and do as you please and endangering the health and the life and the well-being of others? Then that's what you'll do. But if your intention is to be an enlightened, evolved being in the totality of the universe, then like a flower, like a star, like a sun, you will exude the radiance of loving kindness and compassion. Bring your hands together, please. If you haven't noticed, we're seeing more and more manifestations of Chenrezig, the Namanakaya manifestation in the form of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, his kind face, his loving face, his compassionate being, more and more presence, along with many, many others, including our teacher. Sonam ye tempe jemba ye tampe neve tampe tanje zenge je tanje banda truba ye jepe so de truba truba sho jamba jamba brudo jenda demba dangondo zombo tanye teje te taje konje teje teje gawa te randu da tu pavden la megun zetu badang yen yo wa diki yo wa yi da jamba go zenda zenda Dando zange zo la jo ba jo tembe ba ge la me she be den ge pu che ten yo la ge tembe no da do da jo ba ge gambo yo rin na be ta ji so So I hope these words resound in your mind, maybe throughout the course of the day. Let go of what has passed. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax. Right now. Rest. Oh, thank you for being here once again this morning. May we have the blessings to meet again together soon. In the meantime, practice the revelation and the revealing of the essence of your flower in the form of loving kindness and compassion for the benefit of all sentient beings. And we send special prayers and blessings to Nina. Please come among us again and spread your joyous energy in some spriteful fashion. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
See you, Lamala. Good to see you. Always good to see your face, Lamala.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Bye-bye.